What's up guys, Zaid here, and today I have a Phantom Knight deck profile for you. But it's including the new cards we just got from Grand Creators, previously known as Brave Token, now known as Adventurer Token. And this list, I'm not just giving you the list. Like if you want the list, you see it right now. I'm going to give you my explanation on why I play the cards. I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to combo with only 2 level 3 monsters, any 2 level 3 monsters. A tutorial for beginners, because most vet Phantom Knight players would know what to do with just one Phantom Knight name. But if you're new to the deck because of the new cards coming out, I'm going to show you that. And then I'm going to do just like a test hand where I just do a test hand without any you're gonna literally see me go to dueling book, go to solo mode. It'll be a random test hand, and I'm gonna just do it, and I'll probably mess up, and that's where you guys come in and can give me some feedback on what I did. And so, without further ado, I'm gonna go into my explanations. For the Phantom Knight monsters, we played 3 Torn Scales, 3 Cloak, 3 Boots, 1 Gloves. I decided to cut Greaves. I feel like in 60 cards, Greaves is just like, he's not really it, because to get utility out of Greaves, you have to have the Greaves itself being sent to grave somehow, and then you have to have another Phantom Knight in hand. But if I played him, I would have 11 Phantom Knights in the deck. Without him, I play 10, and I'm playing 60 cards. So the odds of me having multiple Phantom Knights in hand aren't that high. So I just opted not to play him. And also, these 10, when I show you the 1-card combo, those of you that know the 1-card combo already, you know, these are all a 1-card combo, whereas Greaves is not. So I just opted not to play him. If you want to play him, I don't know what you would cut. I had trouble making this 60. There were like 2 or 3 other cards I wanted to play. And then next we got the 1-card starters for the Brave Token engine, aka Adventurer Token. Yeah, Brave is a little shorter. I kind of like Brave Token, but Adventurer Token's really cool too. There's a Rite of, I can't pronounce that last word, Aramesur, and then Water Enchantress of the Temple. These cards are basically the same card, and Water Enchantress is actually really strong in this deck compared to other decks, because if you open like one of each of the spell and the monster or double of the monster, she's an extender for the deck. So for those of you that don't know what these cards do yet, I'll just explain them. Rite of Aramesur. If you control no adventure token, special and adventure token, Fairy Earth, level 4, 2k attack, 2k defense. That's fucking huge for a token. And then, if you do not control Faithful Adventure, place a Faithful Adventure from your deck face up in your spell trap zone. And then, this is the drawback that actually does hurt this deck, but it's still probably worth playing the engine. You cannot activate the effects of monsters on the field the turn you activate this card, except special summon monsters. And so, this effect, what it has made us do is, 1, we cannot main Tour Guide even if we want to, because if we resolve Tour Guide, this engine is dead. If we draw 1 Tour Guide, 1 copy of a card in this engine, one of the cards is guaranteed dead. The second thing it does not allow us to do is normal summon Torn Scales and activate its effect. And the reason you're obviously still playing Torn Scales is because 1, you can use the effect in Graveyard to summon itself back, and then you can use the effect because now it's a special summon monster. But 2, if you draw these cards in tandem, you're going to do what I just said. You're going to just wait and use the Torn Scales effect later on. But if you do not draw these cards in tandem and you need Torn Scales to start the play, then you still can do so. So when drawn in combination, you could play unlike Tour Guide, and when drawn by itself with Torn Scales, you could still use it to play if you need to. You, preferably if you have an extender, would opt not to, because another thing to note with this card is it's level 3, so you can send it with Cheerbeanie. And what do you mean, send it with Cheerbeanie? Wouldn't you need to use it on field? No. I'll read you this card real quick. If you control an Adventurer token, you could special this card from your hand. That's how it's an extender if you draw multiples. And then the second effect, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, search the spell that I just read, whose name I still can't say, from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And then if you control an Adventurer token, place a field spell that mentions that from face up, or from your deck face up in your field spell zone. That Doesn't matter. We're not playing the field spell. If I'm being honest, I don't even know what it does. I just know people on the internet said it's bad. You might think I'm a sheep for that, but it saved me a lot of time. Let me get this deck profile out to you quicker. But actually, in regards to the field spell, if we ever get Ancient Fairy Dragon back, then this would be bonkers. You get a field spell. Doesn't matter what it does, because we have Destrudo back. We could just Destrudo, make Ancient Fairy, pop it, search a real field spell, and then go off. But for this deck and the build that I have, if you open 2 Water Enchantress, 1 will just banish from hand, search this, activate Summon Token, activate the continuous spell. Then I'll show you guys the continuous spell in a minute. It's crazy too. But then you would just special this from hand, and now you have a level 3 also. And then another cool thing, it's hand or graveyard. So if you discard this by any way, like say you don't use it right away and you do your Phantom Knight combo first, you banish Cloak, special Torn Scales from grave, Torn Scale, pitch this, you get the effect. Cherubinia, send this, banish it from grave, you get the effect. It's crazy. But then I have the other cards down here because they're not great to draw on their own, but the Faithful Adventurer, the continuous spell, it lets you... I don't know if this part actually matters. The first time a monster you control equipped with an equipped spell would be destroyed by battle, it's not. And then you can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. During the main phase, add a monster that mentions Adventurer token from your deck to your hand, then send a card from your deck to your graveyard. And then if a monster is normal or special summoned, take an equipped spell that mentions Adventurer token from your deck and either add it to your hand or equip it to a token you control. And so the thing that everybody realizes this does, you would activate it, you search this big old monster here, which you already get the token. This spell gives you both the continuous and the token. This gets searched off of the continuous, and this card says if you control the token, special it, and then it's an Omni negate. If your opponent activates any card while you control the token, shuffle this card into the deck, negate it. So it lets you play through hand traps. If they don't have the hand trap, it stays on board and is an interrupt going second. But also, this, my buddy Dave pointed this out to me, and then Ethan confirmed it, so shout out those two if y'all are watching. If you were to open just this card, but you need a level 3 extender in order to actually play the game, you can go activate right, special token, put a continuous spell, search this, because it also mentions adventure token, and then just special this. So not only is the Rite of Amarysur in the Water Enchantress a 1-card Omni negate, it's also a 1-card level 3 extender if you open no other ways to play. And then we also play an equip spell. I'll get to it when we get to it. That card is not that good, but it's good going second. And then we play a Rhoda. Rhoda searches any of these 10, and then it also searches a couple of the extenders in the list, being Junk Forward and Kagamucha Knight. 2 cards that I actually kind of fuck with. They're pretty strong. And then we play the 3 Junk Forward. This card I like because not only is it just a level 3 extender, but it's a warrior. When you see like me playtesting hands and you see my 2 level 3 combo, being a warrior matters. We play a Sold. Then triple E-Telly, thank you Banlist. 1 Tracker, 1 Wielder. And I'm also playing Ghost Ogre, because Ghost Ogre is really strong against Sword Soul. It's really good against the Brave Engine because it hits this Faithful Adventure card. So it just trades with an Omni negate right away. And it also like gives me good copies for Emergency Teleport that aren't Tracker and Wielder. So I can afford to just play one of these. Because these cards, the thing that is important, every single level 3 extender in this deck that I'm playing multiples of works if you draw 2 of them. Like if you draw 2 Junk Forward, you special 1, normal the other. But if you draw 2 Wielder, you can't normal Wielder, special Wielder, because you have to target a level 3 that isn't Wielder. So there's not really a world where I want to play multiples of these. So I just play 1 of each. Then we play triple Gillosaurus. He specials himself, and then if your opponent has monsters engraved, they special it. Going second, this might end up being an issue, but we're going to hope it's not. And going first, it's not an issue because you're going to do this before they would have hand trapped you, so before they could get any immediate value. And then 1 of each level 3 danger. These cards, if you draw both in tandem, it might be scary because if you activate Jackal and they hit Jackal, you don't have a target to summon, but you're playing a 60 card deck. You open with 5 cards in hand. The odds of you opening both dangers is very, very low. And then you reveal Jackalope, you have a 20% chance that they hit it, 80% chance that they don't. So not only do you have to draw both, they also have to snipe the Jackalope as the first reveal for you to not get any value off this card. So chances are that won't happen. And then we play one Terratop. We do play the Talking Tomborg. He is a little lower in the deck list because he's like technically a Garnet, because if you open him, you can't immediately special him. But he's a slight extender actually, because these Water Enchantress, the Rite of Armature, the Adventure Engine. I don't know why I just named those two cards in particular. The whole engine. If you do what the engine's supposed to do, you end on the boss monster, who happens to be Wind. If you open these cards, you're doing it before you do anything else. So Talking Tomborg is still technically a brick, but he's a level 3 normal summon, so if you open it with any of these level 3 extenders, full combo. And if you open it with this package, it's an extender. And if you open the Terratop, you like win the game, dude. Like Terratop special and self special Talking Tomborg make the Cheerbini without a normal summon is the strongest one card you can have access to in this entire deck. And like in the game, what one card in this deck is better? Tour Guide, it's a normal summon. It gets you the same thing, but it's a normal summon. This, if they hand trap they can't hand trap the Cheerbini. What am I saying? If they hand trap the graph you send, you can still normal summon a Dark, make the Link 3, win the game. And so I feel like the payoff of Terratop is better now with the Talking Tomborg. But even if you opt to cut Talking Tomborg, play Terratop. It's the same thing as Junk Forward, except like it's got higher attack. You could summon it under a Wind statue, which actually doesn't matter as much now that the level or the Link 3 got hit for Bird Up, but it still matters for the other deck. What's it called? Fluanderies. Then I played 2 Kagamucha Knight. This card is what's it called? This card is decent. It's weird because it does work if you draw 2, so I'm alright playing with 2 because you can normal one, special the other. But the fact that you can only use it with the normal summon makes it very, like, you have to use it early on. And so it's not my favorite in the world, but it's still very strong. And also, because I play the Isolde, this is a really, really good card to search off Isolde. So I want to have at least 2. If I'm not searching Torn Scale. It really depends on if I've used Torn Scale's Grave Effect already or not, because usually Isolde is grabbing that for follow-up. And then the last, like, real extenders we have are double Fusion Destiny, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Living Fossil. The Fusion Destiny, obviously, it's not, I don't know if you call this an extender, because it doesn't really extend your plays. It gives you a DPE, and it makes it so you don't have to extend as much. And if you get hand trapped to Oblivion, you still have a play. I don't really know why this got hit to 2. It's not like it. Maybe I do know, because they didn't want to cripple it, but they didn't want to like leave it where it was, I guess. The card's really good, and at 2, I'm still playing the 2, and it's a DPE sometimes, saves me 2 link materials, lets me make an IP on top of it. And then we have the 1 Foolish Burial. This card is insane now, because it can send this, so it's just a 4th copy of this. It can send any of these, so it's a 4th copy of Torn Scales, because it sends Cloak Search Torn Scales. It's an extra Fog Blade if you need Fog Blade. It's whatever you need. Card's insane. And then the Living Fossil, that is our like quote-unquote brick for the Isolde package. You send Living Fossil, summon Renaud adds back Fossil. Then you can activate Fossil as an extender. But if you draw Fossil, it's okay, because this card is an extender in and of itself. If you open any level 3 plus this, it'll still give you the one card like Phantom Knight combo I'm going to show you guys. And it's just good. It's a fine card to draw. And then, even if you draw it, but you still have the 2 level 3 combo that I'm going to show you, you still have an equip spell, because the Brave Engine makes you play an equip spell. It doesn't make you, but playing it makes your going second better. And I opt to play it because it makes the Isolde package even better. And then, going into my going second cards, triple Ash, triple Ogre, triple Droplet. Droplet's insane in this deck. All these cards are good being discarded. Not literally all, but we have 10, 13 cards right here that are fine being discarded. 16 here, 18. Like, there's a lot of cards you're fine discarding. I think it's sends. It doesn't actually discard, so not these 2. But a lot of cards you can get value pitching. And then going second, having 1 card that can break a board is really, really good. And then the Ash and Ogre, the thing with these, like I said, Ogre's a little better this format given the Brave tokens are out, because Worst case scenario against a Brave token deck, you're going to trade with Faithful Adventure, and they're not going to get the Omni Negate. Best case scenario, you're going to play against Sword Soul, and you're going to hit their Mo Yi, and they're going to be left with a token. They can't link summon, and a lot of the decks are playing, like you saw on my channel. If you haven't, you should probably check it out. Playing the Helki Fibrax into Auroradon combo. And so I think Ogre's going to be better, but like I was saying earlier, it also allows me to have my E-Tellies always live without playing extra of these. And I would rather draw these than draw this most of the time, because this can be the normal summon to go with any extender, but if I have a play, it's just an additional interruption. And then I cut a Fog Blade to make room for the second Fusion Destiny, because realistically, you never want to draw 2 Fog Blade. I'm playing 60 cards, the odds are really low of drawing 2, and if I draw 1, I can either pitch it to use its Grave effect and still be able to set another one off the Torn, or not the Torn Scales, the Rusty, or like if I need to do the play where Rusty will send the this dude, send Cloak, set a Fog Blade, then I could banish Boots, set an additional Fog Blade. I still have access to that. So 2 feels right to me. If you think I'm wrong, go ahead, let me know. Like, the whole reason of posting these decks real early, besides capitalizing on the YouTube algorithm and all the search engine going right to me because no one else is posting this shit, is so that you guys can let me know where you think I'm wrong, or you could take my deck, play it, and get a better understanding of how this works for yourself, and then come back with the feedback, and then I could take your feedback, I could play with it, and we can like back and forth until we have the best deck list possible. And so again, yeah, you disagree with me, that's good, let me know. And then I play the 1 Phantom Knight's Wing. We need an additional name so that if we need to use 2 effects in a turn, we can. So like say we need to send 1 off Cloak and we need to send 1 off Ragged Gloves, because I believe this sends any card, right? Yeah, double checking so I don't look dumb. But this one in particular, you can activate this on the draw phase or standby phase, and it's not a continuous, so it won't stick, so it'll go to Grave, so then you could banish it to bring back the Break Sword, so you can still pop your Scythe. And then the 1 Shade Brigandine, this card's essential to every combo line. This is why you don't play Imperm, because even going second, you really want this card to be live. But there's never a reason to play multiple, because once you resolve 1, you can't resolve another. And so I would only ever play 1. It's searchable. You get it when you want it. You don't when you don't. And then Scythe, it's another pseudo Garnet, because if you draw it, it doesn't contribute to combo. But if you have combo, you don't have to make Dagda, so now you can make IP. So this is one of the cards that I would still put as a Garnet, because it will contribute to bad hands. But drawing it in a subpar hand is okay, because it's going to allow you to do more with the little bit of cards you do have. Then we have Renaud. This card is actually a Garnet. This is the first like real true Garnet out of all these cards, and we're 51 cards in, this being the 52nd. Because we don't play Fire Warriors, so you're never going to get to special summon this. But this card makes Isolde insane. So you summon Isolde, right? It took 2 monsters to make. You're going to summon your Isolde. You get to search a monster to use for the follow-up, typically a Torn Scales. And then you get to send an equip spell to summon a monster. You summon the Renaud. So now you're going to have the Renaud to continue to build your board. But you're also sending Living Fossil and adding Living Fossil. So like Isolde gets you itself and 2 additional monsters plus follow-up for the next turn. And that feels insane. Like, it's really goddamn strong. And then we got the Talking Tomborg. I talked about him. Card, it's actually an extender in this deck more often than not, because you get the wins off these. The equip spell, I didn't really go over what this card did. You can on your turn, you could target a card your opponent controls, return it to hand. And then if this card's sent to the grave, target an adventure token you control, equipped to that target. And then so a couple things come up with this card. If you open Living Fossil, you still have Isolde combo because you can send this. But the thing is, when you send it, you still get the effect. You get the effect to, if this card's sent to the grave, target a token and equip it. And that effect also matters if you open, like, spell card plus a danger. Then you're going to activate the spell, summon the token, activate the continuous, use the continuous, search the big guy, special the big guy, and then the continuous can activate or search the equip spell. So you choose to search it. That way, when you activate a danger, you have a higher chance of not hitting the danger itself and discarding the card you want to discard. And if you happen to get lucky and you discard the equip, You're going to discard it, summon the danger, draw a card. The equip is going to activate to equip itself anyways. So, like, there are lines where it comes up where that card's, like, insane. And then I think I went over Wandering Griffin Rider a million times. Cards in a gate. It's really strong, and it's a win for Talking Tom board. And then we play the Graph Seer. I remember on DB Grinder's channel, he's got Dodger Wolf a lot of the time, putting his replays up, and he plays Scarm with a Dante. But my board isn't going for the F-Zero, and so the Dante wouldn't really give me the follow-up it does in his, and we can't play Torgot anymore, so Scarm's a lot weaker. So I'm just playing Graph Seer. And then for the Destiny Hero package, this is a little weird, and if you don't like it, you can definitely just play Celestial Dasher. I'm playing Denier Plasma. So, and you also, if you like my reasoning on Denier, which I'm about to give you, you could still keep Denier, but put Dasher in place of Plasma. But my theory on Denier is that if I open that with a level 3 extender and nothing else, I can still do something. Whereas if I open Celestial and a level 3 extender, I can't. And this deck having, 37 cards that are combo, and then 6 hand traps that with an extender are combo. So like 43 cards that can be combo. These also could extend. Like, I would rather my Garnets have some sort of utility as combo pieces than not. So that worst case scenario, I can do a subpar combo instead of none at all. And that's why I opt for Denier. Then the reasoning for Plasma is kind of similar, where I haven't really seen a bunch of lines where if I open this, it would be that useful. But I can imagine that it's more useful to open than Dasher. And that alone is enough to make me willing to try it. But I could very easily see Plasma get replaced with Dasher. But I'm pretty content on Denier. And so, like I said, you can change those if you don't want to. And then, before I get to the extra deck, I have some honorable mentions. The second Leviair and then the F-Zero package. I feel like all 3 of these cards have to go in your extra deck together or not at all. And so, I didn't really have the space for them. But if there's stuff in the extra you don't like, you could change it out for these. And then, my extra deck is not in order, and I can't believe it because I thought I put this whole deck in order, so give me 1 sec to move some of these over. To start, I got the Cheer Beanie. This card's full combo on its own. Once you make it, you win the game. You send any Phantom Knight, you send this engine, you can get whatever you need whenever you need it. Rusty Bardiche. This card is crazy. You set cards that you need. I feel like most of this extra deck I don't really need to talk about. Break Sword, you guys know what that does. You pop a card. It's good for making the Zeus on your, if you're going second, or on the 3rd turn of the duel if you went first. And then you also need it because you summon it, Rusty pops it, you summon 2 back as level 4s, you link those away, and then you have that engraved to summon back off one of the traps to pop Scythe. Then the Leviair, this card, you use it, since you're not using it for F-Zero, you really only use it when you have a Torn Scales that's going to get banished, and so you overlay with it so it doesn't get banished, which is netting you a resource for the follow-up, and then you're summoning something from Banish as a resource for the follow-up later on. And another thing, well, let me actually check. Never mind. I had to reread this card because I thought you could use it from field for a second. I was going to say if the mirror match, or if anyone is playing this engine, you could summon theirs, but after reading it, you can't do that. But it's still just a strong card. Summon one of your banished guys, give you follow-up for later. Access code for going for game. Dagda to set Scythe. IP in case you draw Fusion Destiny or Scythe, so you can make this instead. Isolde for Renaud in the search. Unicorn for IP, and also to break boards, and also for access code as a link 3. Almirage for the 1-card combo I'm going to show you. Anaconda to summon DPE. And then Ampalooza, just in case you need it. Card's really strong. And then Link Spider for the 1-card combo I'm going to show you, and also in case you get nibbed. And so now I'm going to go over here. I just realized I didn't full screen it this whole goddamn time, but it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to show you guys this 2-card combo, any 2 level 3s. And I opted for a Hand Trap and a Jackalope to show you there's literally any 2 level 3s on board. They don't have to do anything in grave, just 2 level 3s. So I normal the Ash, Jackalope effect, it gets hit, summons the Tsuchinoko from grave, or from deck, I mean. Make Cheer Beanie dump Graph, summon Seer. We're going to link these 2, and then we're going to get Seer's effect, so we summon the Bardiche, summon back the Cheer Beanie. Rusty effect, we're going to send the Cloak, and we're going to set Shade Brigadine. So we'll Cloak Search Boots, activate Shade because there's no traps currently in grave. special boot, blink 2 warriors into Isolde. Isolde is going to search as follow-up, so we're going to grab the Torn Scales. We're going to use its effect, dump Living Fossil, summon Renaud. Renaud is going to grab back the Living Fossil. And then we're going to link 2 into the Dagda, activate Fossil, summon Jackalope. And then we're going to link 2, summon the Anaconda. Anaconda effect, chain Dagda effect, set Scythe. And then we're going to get the DPE, we're going to get the Scythe. And then we're going to also get the, what's it called? Yeah, the Boots Engrave to set a Fog Blade. So off a Danger and an Ash Blossom, we're able to end on DPE, Scythe, Fog Blade. And so this play is not going to come up that often where all you have are 2 level 3s. But the thing is, it will come up often where you'll try to use a card or 2 and you'll get hand trapped. And this, having 3 other extenders in your hand, if you get hand trapped and you're able to extend, you can still make this play through interruptions. But if all you have is 2 cards, you can still do this. So that's the beauty of the 2-card play. I'm also going to show you guys the 1-card play, and then I'm going to do a test hand. If you're not like a beginner to this deck, go ahead and skip forward to the next part of the video. You know how to do this. But if you open any of the Phantom Knights, you simply normal summon them. If you open Torn Scales, it's different because Torn Scales has like a very strong effect, and you can probably do full combo just off that. But if you only open Ancient Cloak, Boots, or whatever the one is called that foolish is, Ragged Gloves, you make All Mirage. If you have Cloak or Boots, you use their effect to search this trap, the Shade Brigadine. And if you open the Ragged Gloves, you just send Cloak or Boots. So it's all the same thing. It gets you exactly to right here. You summon the trap, make Link Spider, link 2 effect monsters into Anaconda, use Anaconda, summon DPE. So 1 card gets you that. So if you bricked, you open a bunch of Garnets, or if you open like 3 hand traps and a Fog Blade, you're still able to put up a DPE and then have all those interruptions. And then lastly, this, if you guys are still watching, is the most beneficial part of the video, for me at least. Because right here, I'm going to do a solo test hand. And if you guys see anywhere where I play where you think I shouldn't have played, like if you see misplays, point them out to me. And then it's an opportunity for all of us to get a little bit better. So, given my current hand, as you see here, like I opened the Griffin Garnet, I opened the Living Fossil, like quote unquote Garnet, and I opened Torn Scales, which is a starter, but I can't use it as a starter because then it'll turn off my ability to use the Adventurer engine. And so I actually got to think here. I think I'm going to normal this. Activate the Rhoda for probably Boots. Special Boots. Make Cherubini. And this is a big thing because having the Griffin in hand makes me want to go for the adventure token play. Simply because if not, this just sits in hand. But because I have it, it will turn that play also into a level 3 extender. So, and because I have this to search and then this will special back, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go use Cherubini. Oh, I didn't mean to add that to hand. It goes to grave. I'm going to dump this. Da-da-da-da. Come on. Big lag. And then I'm going to banish this to search the spell. We're going to add this. And then I'm going to activate it. Why am I lagging? There we go. Which lets me summon the token, and then I search a card with a, or I not search, I place the Faithful Adventurer. And then this card lets you search a card that mentions Brave Token and then discard a card, which I'm not going to use yet because I have this in hand already. So here I just special it, which means that this card's not going to lose to Ash or Ogre. And then also the fact that I have to add and then discard, it means I can turn this Ghost Ogre into an extender at any point. Because Living Fossil is already an extender. There's not really a reason to search a 3 to discard this. And so now if I need the extender, I'll pitch the Ogre for the extender. And if I don't need the extender, I'd rather just keep the Ogre for an interruption. And then here I'm gonna... I don't think I want to put this token here. I'll put it over here. And then... I guess really we just like activate this. Search. So... there's a world where we grab the Ancient Cloak. Or not the Ancient Cloak, the Shade Brigandine to extend. But we also could grab this Fog Blade, which I think is right. Because now we're going to proc the Torn Scales to special. I'll move it here, just in case. Then I'll activate Torn Scales. Pitch the Fog Blade. Dump the... what have I used already? I could dump Cloak. And Cloak could search me the Shade. And I could also dump the Ragged Gloves, which could dump me the Wing. And I think I'm going to go for the Ancient Cloak line. That seems right to me, but I'm not sure. Let me think on it. So, what I'm thinking here, right? So by sending the Fog Blade, I'll banish Fog Blade, special Cloak. And then I can either go into Isolde right away. I also have the Living Fossil, which is kind of important. I'm just going to do the line. And then you guys, after we have gone through the line, if you think that it would have been better to send the other thing, let me know. So here I'm going to summon this out. I'm going to overlay for the Leviair. And then I'm going to use the Leviair's effect. And we're going to make sure we discard or detach the Ancient Cloak. And it would be cool to grab this so that I could use it to float later. But the thing is that I'm going to need this because of it being a dark. So then I'm going to link these into Rusty. And now we're going to go declare the effect of Rusty. And we're going to use this to search the trap that summons itself. So with this, we'll dump Ragged Gloves so that it can dump Wings. And we'll set the final Fog Blade as an interrupt. And so from here, I'm going to use this. My objective right here is to get to Isolde. Because once we get to Isolde, we have like my combo. We're going to add the trap. Because we don't have traps engraved, set, activate, move. And then the thing that sucks is this also banishes the card when it leaves the field, which is a little annoying. Because I'll go Fossil for the Cloak. Have I used Cloak to search already? I don't remember. Let's check. Oh, that's the watcher chat, not the log. No. So I haven't used the Cloak yet, and I haven't used that yet. I might not even activate this. This is weird. I think I'm going to have to forego one of these. And I think I'd rather get rid of this. So maybe just banish this dumb trap, summon that, make his whole do the thing. I don't know. No, I'll do this. Then we're going to go Isolde. That got banished, sadly. And then declare the effect of Isolde. Send the equip spell, because I drew the living fossil. Special Renaud. Then the equip spell is going to equip itself to the token, and we're going to add back the living fossil. Or we'll add this to hand. And then turn these into the Dagda. Banish this. Send the wings. Banish the wings. Special the Torn Scale. And turn these into... I didn't search off Isolde, so let me grab something off that actually too. That's like really important for having the follow-up. Isolde will search this bad boy. And then we'll turn those two into the Anaconda. And then we'll pay our 2,000. Sending the Fusion Destiny. And then the 2 Garnets. Summon out the DPE. And so this end board... Oh, also we're going to chain Dagda. I almost forgot the most important part of the goddamn combo. The fact that we lock them out of the extra deck. And so here we have the Fog Blade as an interruption. The DPE as an interruption. We have the Scythe that's going to get popped by the DPE. We have the Omni Negate. We still have this Ghost Ogre in hand. And then if they don't out Faithful Adventure, it's a level 3 extender. We have the Torn Scales. We have this to help bounce cards to go for game next turn. And we have the Living Fossil as an extender. On top of the gray stuff we have, which is the Torn Scales. And so we have follow-up. Also the Fog Blade, if it goes to grave, gives us additional follow-up. So we have follow-up for days. We lock them out of the extra deck. We have an Omni Negate to protect it. We have a trap to chain to droplets if they have it. We got a lot going on right here, and it's kind of nice. And so that's the deck profile. Those are the combos. If you guys enjoyed this list and enjoyed this video, do me a favor and subscribe. I'm close as fuck to that 1,000 sub mark. And once you hit 1,000 subs, you start actually getting paid for it. And so I'm goddamn excited for that shit. I'm trying to get paid to play Yu-Gi-Oh! As I'm sure y'all would love to be too. So please do. Give me feedback on the deck and check out my other deck profiles. I've been working like crazy these past 2 days to get you guys some sort of templates for basically any deck playable this new format. Take it easy.